Hey everybody, welcome to the shop today. I've got a really interesting one to show you guys. This is really cool, and I think a lot of people are going to be very upset at this. Here it is. This is the Russian SVT 38. And this one was stripped for parts, and God knows when, but this is a real tragedy. This rifle is a very, very collectible rifle. There are very few of these in the United States due to import laws and regulations. Very few SVTs ever made it here. The SVT 38 was made basically in 1939 and very early 1940, which makes these very, very rare. They are different from the SVT 40. They still have SVT 40 style muzzle brake, along with which I was watching a video from Forgotten Weapons, and it said the SVT 38 should not have a bayonet lug, which is kind of weird. This one has a bayonet lug, and of course, you can tell it's an SVT 38 because it's got the sling swivel on the bottom right there, and also the cup right here is designed for the stock to fit into. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that, but it is manufactured in 1939 at the Tula Arsenal, and I have been collecting SVT parts for a long time. I've owned 3 of them in the past. I don't own any right now, except for this one. But resurrecting an SVT 38 is a very, very impossible task. And the biggest part is the stock is basically unobtainium. That's just the way it is. You cannot find an SVT 38 stock. With that, the top metal shroud for an SVT 38 is also unique, both of which were changed in the SVT 40 when they updated the SVT 40. Another way you can tell is the cleaning rod would go through the bayonet lug on an SVT 40 and go inside the stock, versus the SVT 38 going down the length of the stock. Now, I've been collecting parts, and I've got pretty much everything that I think I need. I've got a bolt, but it is stripped. I'm going to have to find a firing pin and a firing pin spring. I've got a bolt carrier, which is original, has not been refurbished because the refurbishment process would have had this purple, not bright polished metal, along with the serial numbers being stamped and not electro-penciled. Those are original parts. So, what do we do with a rifle that we have no ability to resurrect and bring back to original military condition? Well, that's where my inner BUBBA just starts to take over. What I've got here is an SVT 38 stock, or an SVT 40 stock, an SVT style rifle, but this one is styled after the SVT Dragunov. That's right, my BUBBA is in full swing right now. This stock, inletted for an SVT style Tokarev rifle, mated with an SVT 38 action. This is going to be a really, really awesome build, and I think the internet is going to absolutely hate it. Now, we've got all the parts, so let's dry fit and see how everything goes together. Now, a couple of parts I don't have. The piston rod and piston rod spring I do not have, but I've got the piston and the cup and everything else. And there are a few differences, a few very minor differences between the SVT 40 and 38, which might rear their ugly head. I don't know. We're just going to have to see. One of the basic ones, if you ever come across it, an SVT 40 bolt carrier has these little lightning cuts on both sides. The SVT 38 did not, so it should have a straight side with no lightning cuts. Aside from that, you really can't tell the difference of any of the internal working parts. So let me dry fit all this and see what we come up with. All right, check this out. Now this stock is cut and inletted to use the SVT 40 front metal. It's got the upper handguard. Look at that. That's some pretty nice stuff. And guess what? It actually had spaces on that bolt. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, what BUBBA is going to do next, we're going to put a scope rail on this. There is a company that makes a scope rail for the SVT 40s, and it uses the original scope rails cut into the side of the receiver. So we don't have to drill anything, we don't have to permanently alter anything, and obviously with an SVT 38, I'm not going to make any permanent damaging alterations to the action, because if I actually do find a correct stock for an SVT 38, obviously that would be the smartest route to go to bring this back to military condition. But check this out. SVD style SVT semi-automatic 762 by 54R. This is actually something I've wanted to do for so long, and now I'm doing it. So here's a question for everybody. First off, do you hate it? Because I think everybody is going to hate this rifle. But that's okay. Everybody can hate it. I'd much rather have a rifle that functions rather than have really cool, very rare parts laying around. So we're making a rifle that works, and that's my goal. I do love the SVD, the Dragunov style rifle stock. That is something that is really cool, and I am probably, short of winning the Powerball, not going to buy an SVD Dragunov because they are way too expensive. But here's one thing that is going through my head. Now, I like really dark wood stocks, and this obviously is super blonde. Now, I could just try to restain the stock into a much darker tone. That's one option, but I did have another idea. If this is going to be a true and proper BUBBA and range toy that I really hope to build really nicely, there was also another option. The black hardwood rubberized coating that a lot of wood stocks can come with. And for one thing, I'm not super married to a real slick stock, so having a little bit of grip on it would be one thing. Also having a little bit of protection for the wood, obviously, would be another thing, but I'm really a fan of darker colors. So what do you think about doing a black textured rubberized coating on this? And then, of course, refinishing all the metalwork in real nice bluing. So let me know what you think about that. As for this project is really, really cool, and I am excited like you wouldn't believe to have an SVT 40 or SVT 38. Either way, I'm excited to have a BUBBA, because Lord knows I'm not going to cut up an original SVT rifle just to make a BUBBA. They're way too expensive and way too rare. But if the parts land in my lap, it's time to BUBBA. So, what do you think about this? Let me know, and I hope you all have a great day. And I'm going to actually try to find the last few bits to make this a functioning semi-automatic again. And it really shouldn't be very hard at all to finish this project out. So, what do you think, guys? Does this deserve all the internet hate, or is this actually kind of cool? Hit me up. Let me know. Catch you later. Bye.